Yo, what's good, family? Double R locked in from the Shy. Season 2, Episode 4. Keeping up with the Joneses. And before we get into it, I need to ask you something first. Who are the Joneses? We've been using this phrase forever. Keeping up with the Joneses. It's in the culture, it's in the language. Everybody knows what it means. Don't fall behind. Match the lifestyle. Stay at the level of people around you who appear to be doing well. But nobody ever stops to ask, who is this family? Where do they live? What do they actually have? Because here's the thing about the Joneses. They're not real. They never were. They're a projection, a composite, a moving target made up of everybody around you whose highlight reel you've been watching and quietly comparing yourself to. The Joneses are your cousin who just bought a house. The Joneses are your coworker who just got a new car. The Joneses are somebody from your high school you don't even talk to anymore, living a life on Instagram that may or may not reflect anything true about what's actually happening behind closed doors. The Joneses are whoever you decided, consciously or not, represents the standard you're supposed to be meeting. And the reason that's dangerous is because you built the standard. You picked them, and most of the time, you pick them without asking whether their life is actually something that you want, or whether it just looks like what you think you're supposed to want. Here's the part that'll make you think twice. While you're out here watching somebody else's life and measuring yourself against it, somebody is doing the exact same thing to you. Right now, today, there is somebody in your circle, somebody on your timeline, somebody who knows your name, who looks at what you have, what you've done, where you live, how you move, and uses you as the measuring stick for their own life. You are somebody's Joneses. And if you sat with that for a second, really sat with it, you probably feel two things. One, a little flattered, and two, a little unsettled. Because you know the full picture. You know what the highlight reel leaves out. You know the debt, the doubt, the days where none of it feels like enough. You know that what looks like doing well from the outside is a lot more complicated from the inside. So if that's true for you, and it is, why would you assume the people you're chasing have any more figured out than you do? The Joneses are just somebody else's highlight reel. And somewhere, they're keeping up with somebody else's. Now, I want to be fair here, because I don't think the instinct to look around and calibrate is entirely wrong. We're social creatures. We learn from observation. Seeing somebody accomplish something you thought was out of reach can genuinely expand your sense of what's possible. That's real. That's useful. There's a version of watching somebody eat well that motivates you to go get at your own plate. And that's healthy. The problem is when observation becomes comparison. When somebody else's progress makes you feel behind on a race you never signed up for. When you start making financial decisions, lifestyle decisions, relationship decisions, not because they align with what you actually want, but because they close the gap between you and whoever you decided is winning. That's when keeping up becomes keeping down, because you're not building towards your own life anymore. You're building towards somebody else's. Even if you catch them, even if you pull even, you don't feel it. Because it was never really about them. It was about a story you told yourself about the life you were supposed to have and feel. And that story, that invisible timeline, that imaginary standard, that's the real Joneses. Not the cousin, not the coworker, not the person from high school. The voice in your own head that decided you were falling behind. So here's the reframe. What if you took all the energy you spend tracking other people's progress and pointed inward? Not in an isolated, nobody else exists way, but in a what do I actually want and am I moving towards it kind of way. Keeping up with yourself means knowing where you started, knowing what you said you were going to do and whether you're doing it. Measuring your November against your January, not your life against somebody else's chapter. It means asking better questions. Not why don't I have what they have, but do I even want what they have? And if I do, what's my actual path to it? It means being honest about when admiration tips into envy and catching yourself before you make a decision from that place. Because nothing built from envy ever satisfies. You get the thing and you're already looking for the next Joneses to chase. The people who actually build something real, something that fits their life, reflects their values, sustain them long term, they're not watching the Joneses. They're too busy running their own race to clock somebody else's pace. Be that person. Keep up with yourself. That's the only comparison that has a finish line worth crossing. Affirm with me. I am not behind. I am my own timeline. My only competition is who I was yesterday. Say that whenever the comparison creeps in, and it will creep in. That's human. The move is catching it early. Drop a comment on YouTube. Hit me on socials, and I want to know, who are the Joneses in your life? And be honest. Are you keeping up with what you actually want or what you think you're supposed to want? At DoublR_R on X or at THEDoublR on IG. Let's talk. That's season 2, episode 4. Keeping up with the Joneses. Figure out who your Joneses actually are. Then ask yourself if you even want their life or just the idea of it. I'm Doubl R. This is what we're double. Miracles on miracles. Peace. Blessings. Chicago. Stay in your own lane. We'll talk soon.